academic procession is led by the outstanding senior man, Jack Gervais, and the outstanding senior woman, Carrie Weeder. Candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degrees now enter the south section nearest the orchestra. Candidates for the Baccalaureate of the Daniels College of Business now enter the north section of seats, furthest from the orchestra. Candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Science take their places in the center section. candidates for the degrees of the Women's College take their places in the center section. Students, please be seated. Alumni, the class of 1953, led by Professor Emeritus Morris Schubert. The platform party now enters the arena from the rear by the way of the central aisles, led by President of the Faculty Senate, bearing the ceremonial mace. It includes distinguished members of the Board of Trustees and Board of Governors, the candidates for the honorary degrees, deans of the colleges, schools, and faculties, vice provosts, vice chancellors of the university, the provost, the chair of the Board of Trustees, and the chancellor of the University of Denver. Members of the university faculty make their way up the central aisles to complete the academic procession.
Good morning. Welcome to the University of Denver 2003 Commencement Ceremony. Commemorating the completion of the university's 139th academic year. I am John Lowe, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees. I join with the trustees in congratulating the candidates who will receive their degrees at this ceremony. We are proud of their hard work and achievement. I now call this commencement to order, and I'm happy to present to you Professor Leon Giles, President of the Faculty Senate, who will act as Master of Ceremonies. Professor Giles.
Before we begin, as a courtesy to those seated around you, and in the interest of maintaining the decorum of the ceremony, we ask that you please turn your cell phones off and refrain from using them until the conclusion of the ceremony. The commencement ceremony of the class of 2003 will open with the national anthem led by Kristen Berman of the Lamont School of Music. Will the audience please remain standing for the invocation, which will be asked by Mr. Mohammed Jaddah of the Colorado Muslim Society Islamic Center. Following the invocation, the Chancellor of the University, Daniel Ritchie, will speak.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Almighty God, the most merciful, the most gracious, creator and the sustainer of heavens and earth, the Lord of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, may peace be upon all of them. In this special day, where knowledge and education is honored, I would like to share with you the very first revelation that God revealed to the illiterate Prophet Muhammad in the Holy Quran. And it says, proclaim, read in the name of thy Lord and cherisher, who created man out of a leech like a cloth. Proclaim, read thy Lord is the most bountiful, he who taught the use of the pen, taught man that which he knew not. Let us humbly turn our hearts and mind to the good Lord in the following supplication. O Allah, please give us the vision, the strength, and the will to pursue knowledge and wisdom, and guide us to share and contribute this knowledge and wisdom to the prosperity and well-being of the human race, and to establish and maintain peace on earth, to help the needy and the poor, to look after the rich and the powerful that they may not exploit others. God, help us to conduct our daily lives and all our actions to be in accordance with your guidance and accepted in your sight. God, bless this gathering and all these young men and women who are graduating today, and help them to pursue the road of success. Let all praise be to the good Lord. Amen.
Good morning. Welcome, parents, friends, alumni, university faculty and staff, and most especially, our graduates. This is a day of celebration for you, the university's newest alumni. Also joining us today are members of the University of Denver class of 1953, who are celebrating their 50-year class reunion this weekend. Would the members of the class of 1953 please stand and accept our appreciation for your years of dedication and service. Today is a time when we honor the accomplishments of our graduates. It is also a day when we acknowledge all those who share in your success, family, friends, and professors who have contributed in untold ways through their gifts of understanding, support, and guidance. Let's all take a moment to show our appreciation to one another who share in the success of today's graduates. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Michael Massey, a member of the University of Denver Alumni Association Board of Directors. Mr. Massey has earned 2 degrees from DU, including a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science in 1968 and a Juris Doctorate in 1971. A practicing attorney for many years, Mike is now a lawyering process professor at the University of Denver's College of Law. Please welcome Mike Massey, who will share a few words from the Alumni Association. Mike?
Congratulations. Today you not only receive a well-deserved diploma, but you also get 97,000 new friends. Fortunately, they don't all live together in an apartment in New York, but they are all very directly connected to you because you're now an alum of this university. You will find DU alums in the President's Cabinet. You will find them as CEOs of major corporations, and you will find them in schools, nonprofits, government offices, and businesses throughout this country and abroad. My message to you today is very simple. Let your new friends help you. Let them help you learn about your chosen profession. Let them help you develop a network of business contacts and associates. And if you're moving to a new city, you already have friends there. Let them help you get settled. And who knows, maybe your new friends may even be able to find you a job. So when the celebrations have ended, get in touch with your new friends and stay connected with DU. call the alumni office or check out the alumni website. Let us know how we can help you start a new life experience. And maybe one day you'll repay the favor. Thank you.
At commencement, it is customary for the university to confer honorary degrees upon persons who have attained eminence through their achievements. Chancellor Daniel Ritchie and Provost Robert Coombe will present the honorary degrees.
John R. Farquharson, President of the International Food Safety Council. Your leadership is vital to the National Restaurant Association Education Foundation's efforts to heighten awareness of the vital importance of worldwide food safety. Chairman of ARA Global Food Services and a member of the Board of Trustees of the Culinary Institute of America, you are a respected leader in food service and hospitality, active in your community, and an advocate for education. You have dedicated time and resources to Easter Seals, March of Dimes, New Jersey Nature Conservancy, Philadelphia Zoological Society, Westbrook College, New York University, and of course, the University of Denver. Now, therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Denver, I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Business and admit you to all of the rights, powers, and privileges pertaining thereto. In token whereof, I present you this diploma and direct that you be vested with the degree, with the hood appropriate to the degree. You need to take your hat.
Thank you, Chancellor Ritchie. I'm truly honored with this recognition, and will tell you that I've only received recognition one other time here in Denver. While a student, a group of ill-advised and course-inspired young people attempted to dynamite the M off the Colorado School of Mines mountain behind their school. And we failed. And we were rewarded by meeting a man named Art Dill, who was the chief of police here in Denver. And Art further rewarded me just 2 years ago when he sent me a Christmas present, which was my expunged FBI records while a student at the University of Denver. So I thank you, Chancellor. It is much more important. Thank you.
Brian Lamb, please. Founder, Chairman, and Chief Executive Officer of the not-for-profit Cable Satellite Public Affairs Network, C-SPAN. You have helped to build the cable television industry and raise the expectations of the viewing public. Believing in the importance of delivering gavel-to-gavel congressional coverage, as well as important political events and nonfiction book programming, you touch more than 81 million households through a family of 24-hour television networks. Your corporate leadership and personal involvement in working with young people is encouraging a new generation to become responsible and ethical citizens. Now, therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Denver, I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters and admit you to all of the rights, powers, and privileges pertaining thereto. In token whereof, I present you this diploma and direct that you be vested with the appropriate hood. I don't know either. Albert C. Yates, as the 12th president of Colorado State University and the chancellor of Colorado State University System, you further distinguished your academic and administrative career by encouraging academic quality, innovation, fairness, and respect. Recognized for your commitment to your community and improving the quality of life for your fellow citizens, you were named the 2002 Citizen of the West by the National Western Stock Show. The conceptual founder of Colorado State University and University of Denver collaboration, Bridges to the Future, you have helped to elevate the importance of American values for the 21st century in the minds and hearts of the people of Colorado and beyond. Now, therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Denver, I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree, Doctor of Education, and admit you to all of the rights, powers, and privileges pertaining thereto. In token whereof, I present you this diploma and direct that you be vested with the hood appropriate to the degree.
Thank you. Good morning, and just a word to Chancellor Ritchie, to the trustees of the University of Denver, to the faculty, and to the students. To all of you, I thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for this tremendous honor and for the recognition. And in fact, as I came to the stage today, I was filled with such awe and so unsettled that during the singing of the national anthem, I didn't remove my hat, and for that I apologize. But it just goes to show you, quite frankly, of how pleased I am and how honored I am to be here today. The only other thing that I would say is this, and that is that this has been an extraordinary year for Colorado State University and for the University of Denver. And in that sense, it's been an extraordinary year for all of the people that we serve. It has been an honor and a pleasure for me to get to know you, to be involved with you as partners in something that is tremendously important to all of us. And of course, I'm talking about the discussions we originated under the banner of Bridges to the Future, American History and American Values in the light of the 21st century. But my hope more than anything else is that this is only the beginning of a partnership, and that in accepting this honor today, I do so in behalf of all the faculty, all the staff, all the students of Colorado State University who have worked with you in partnership, dedicated to making our world a better place. Thank you all so very much.
A journalist and political press secretary in his early career, Brian Lamb helped found C-SPAN in 1979. Organized as a not-for-profit company, C-SPAN built one of the first satellite uplinks in the District of Columbia. Dedicated to providing in-depth coverage of national and international issues, C-SPAN has grown into a family of 3 networks. C-SPAN, the flagship network that provides complete coverage of the U.S. House of Representatives and daily political events from Washington. C-SPAN 2, established in 1986 to cover U.S. Senate proceedings. This network also features Book TV, 48 hours of nonfiction book programming. C-SPAN 3, the newest network, was established in 2001 and is available to systems offering digital cable packages. In addition to television, C-SPAN also programs WCSP, an FM radio station that serves audiences in the Washington and Baltimore areas, as well as a larger national audience on satellite television, satellite radio. Recognized for his on-air presence, Mr. Lamb has hosted the program Book Notes since it began in 1989 and has published 3 books based on the series. In all, he has conducted more than 600 nonfiction author interviews. A graduate of Purdue University, Mr. Lamb delivered the University of Denver's inaugural Hawthorne Address for the School of Communications this past February. He has also been instrumental in providing opportunities for DU students to participate in live, on-camera town hall meetings and interactive dialogues that have aired on C-SPAN. It is my privilege to introduce a maverick and a visionary, our commencement speaker, Mr. Brian Lamb.
Did you notice that when Mr. Massey was suggesting that some of the alums from this school might be able to offer you a job in the future, the only people that clapped very loud were the people sitting up there. I don't know what that means, except life is always perspective, and perspective at the moment, as they look down on you, is about $80 million worth of education, sitting right down here. It's a exciting opportunity for me to spend some time with you as I told somebody, it's about a 45-minute speech, and somebody up here said you might want to reduce that to about 12. You'd probably be better off with this group. We've had a marvelous association with students at this university for the last couple years. And those of you who don't know it, while you were building bridges to the future by having lots of interesting folks come in an arena like this, remember the night Michael Moore was here and a few others, we've been building a 1,677-mile glass bridge of fiber optic which connects this university with our studios in Washington 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And 133 students at this university have participated in our class. It's now taught by Steve Scully, Professor Scully. He's probably somewhere in this room. But more importantly, 36 of you sitting here today have participated. And I want to ask if the 36 that are here would just stand up so that I can see where you are, because I know you, and I want everybody to know who you are. Everybody that participated, stand up around the audience in these classes taught by John Splain and Steve Scully. I got to know students well enough that I got this email from my friend Ada Christensen, who is here today, and I want you to know what she had to tell me about this speech. Ada says, just promise me that you won't tell us that the best times of our lives are over and that it's time to enter the real world. I promise you I won't say that, Ada. However, I do, as John told the story about the Coors-inspired evening near the Colorado School of Mines sign, I think back 40 years ago when I was in your spot. And the night before, I had to give a little talk at my Purdue University graduation. And the night before, a bunch of us were out about campus, probably had a beer or two. My father was in that business, sold it. It was easy to get at my house. Although we were not inebriated, they thought they would have a little fun with me, so they threw me in the fountain outside the main building, and I had my last and only convertible in my life, and after that happened, they lit off a bunch of cherry bombs, and everybody jumped back in the car, and we went back over to where we were living, and the cops spotted us and followed us right on our tail. And a friend of mine was driving my car, and he drove up the back alley, and I was thinking along the way, if I have to go over to that jail tonight and then have to give that speech tomorrow morning, it's not going to be a very happy day. So as we were going up this back alley, I decided at the last minute to dive into the bushes. And I'm not terribly athletic, so I just one big dive into the bushes, and I realized that the cops were going to get out and try to find us all, because a bunch of other guys I noticed dove on both sides. So just picture your commencement speaker today crawling on all fours across the ground as low as I could get, because the next thing I knew, this guy had his flashlight out looking around trying to find us, and he never caught me. And one of my close, thank you. But more importantly, I remember the uncertainty of what it felt like to be where you are. And it came home to me yesterday. We did a live program on C-SPAN with 20 of you. They all got up and were there at 5:30 in the morning. We went live at 6 o'clock. And our first hour together, I asked the students who were there representing this class about their lives, where they thought they were going to go. And then the callers started calling in and asking questions. I think the moment of truth was when Andrea Love told us, she's a graduate today, that after she finishes law school at the University of Buffalo, she'll have $140,000 in debt. And then the next moment of truth was when a caller called up and said, how many of you have jobs? And out of 20, 3 hands went up. And I remember what it was like in 1963 when everybody around me, including my parents, were telling me, you should be a lawyer, go to law school. And they pounded that into me the last year I was in school. And there was something that kept saying to me, if everybody thinks I ought to be a lawyer, I ought to be a lawyer, but I really didn't want it. But I got in, and I had no business getting in, because I am the poster child for the American C student. And my grade average in college was 4.2. There's only one problem. We were on a 6.0 schedule. I got into law school, and I went down to Indiana University, where Al Yates taught and went to school for a while. And I'll never forget, because this is one of my words of great wisdom to you. If your stomach is upset and there's a knot in it, something's wrong. And as I checked in at Indiana University, there was a knot in my stomach. And I went to a orientation, and then I went to law school, and there was a knot in my stomach, and it wouldn't go away. And I was trying to act like I really wanted to be there. And one day my parents, the third day into law school, my parents came to visit. My dad wanted me to be a lawyer. He used to say to me, son, it's a license to steal. Go get your law degree. So when they came to visit some friends of theirs, I was by myself. I went over there to the living room of their friends, and I sat and I said, I have something I need to tell you. I'm out of here. I don't want to be here. I don't want a law degree. I want to go in the Navy, and then I want to get in the communications business. And I was really surprised, because my father, who had been telling me I should be a lawyer, right away accepted what I was telling them. I literally left law school the next day. I'm a 3-day law school goer. The message to you is, in spite of these wonderful people that are seated up here, as much as they're as interested in you as anybody in the world, as you make your decision, make it based on what you really want to do, not what a lot of other people want you to do. Because if you don't do it that way, it will come back to backfire on you. We're very close to this school. This summer, 3 people in this audience will leave here shortly and go to Washington, D.C. and be interns in our our office, Heather Williams, Leslie Capstick, and Kimberly Curvin. And Jessica Lass was our intern at our place last year. She's here today. Very important. When you come to our place, we will welcome you and hope that we can play a little bit of a role as you get out of this place, take your degree, and try to make it work and pay off that $140,000 worth of education. I tried to figure out some way to leave you with some magic words of wisdom. And I was torn because as you get on the website and you think about this school, you have your motto and your pioneer, the boon. And I see that the pioneers the word pioneer is very important to me because a lot of the names you see around this campus came from pioneers who started the cable television business. The Williams Tower on top of this building, Carl Williams is back here on this stage. Phil Hogue is here. He was from the cable business. Dan Ritchie, of course, came from the cable business. Bill Daniels, Bob Magnus, where this arena is, all pioneers in the cable business. I wouldn't be here without those pioneers. But then I thought I'd get really clever, and I know how excited you are. However, I couldn't find a whole lot of people that could give me the reason why this school has the mascot of the red-tailed hawk. So I got on Google and tried to figure it all out. That's a major accomplishment in itself that I could find Google. You'd be interested to know probably that there are people in the state of Connecticut that have a petition out that you can get on tomorrow if you want to and sign up for it and make the state bird for Connecticut the red-tailed hawk. I know that's very exciting, and I'm sorry I brought it up. But what I thought I would do is take the words red-tailed hawk. This is a gimmick, I know, but it's a way for me to make this as concise as possible and to get to you some philosophy of life that I've picked up over the years from the people that I've known in the cable industry and that I've developed myself. And this will go very quickly. So I'm going to read down the list, the letter, and tell you what came to mind for my life that might help some of you in your life. The R would be for read history. The E would be for entrepreneur. Yesterday on our call-in show, a lot of people called in about any of you in this room want to be an entrepreneur because everybody was talking about what they're going to do in the future. And entrepreneurship built our industry and also has contributed greatly to this school. The D out of red-tailed hawk, I put down, don't get greedy. If you look around at the problems in this society and where people go wrong, and we've had a bad week for that, people being indicted and people leaving their jobs at high-powered places, often it turns from, I think, which is a sin of greed that you find a lot and have found a lot in the last 20 years. The T in tailed is for travel. Some of you have traveled overseas already, but keep it up. Go to places that aren't Europe. And I'll give you two places in my life that have mattered a lot. I went to Vietnam twice. I had to find out what that was all about. And I went to Israel. And the reason I went to Israel is you can't possibly understand what's going on over there, other than the fact is they can't solve the problem unless you go there and see it for yourself. There are lots of very interesting spots to go, other than what I mentioned, but travel. The A entailed is ask lots of questions. Ask lots of questions. I love it when somebody comes to work at our place and says, "Can I talk to you?" and then sits down and starts asking lots of questions. The I, this is a long one. It doesn't matter who gets the credit as long as the work gets done. Ronald Reagan used to have a sign on his desk that said, "No telling how much you can accomplish if you don't worry about who gets the credit." The L is for learn to listen. One of the things I notice in Washington is that most people are on transmit and very few are on receive. Now, if you listen, it's amazing absolutely astounding, and that's what I do for a living, what you can learn. The E is for ego. You got to have a little bit of it, but a lot of it does not go a long way, and people will cite you for it for the rest of your life. The D is don't expect success too soon. I know you got your motors running and you want to be a big success, but there's a long life ahead of you. Take it at some kind of a pace so that you're not 35 years old, an enormous success, and depressed because you've already hit the top. And now the word hawk, H, I use the word humility. It's an important word for you to use in your vocabulary and to think about. If more people in this country used it, I think we would be a lot happier place. A is for accepting risks. Don't be afraid of failure. I had 8 jobs before I got to this one. Many occasions, including my law school story, where it just didn't work out. I didn't get the job. I failed. And if you don't accept a risk, you're never going to get, in my opinion, to where you really want to be. The W, work at friendships. Don't be afraid to pick up the telephone and make the call. Some people do a better job of that than others. Some people call me all the time, and I love it, and others I call all the time. But if you expect to have friends that you have at this school 40 years from now, and 2 of my best friends were in the room with me when I graduated, you got to pick up the phone and call them. Or in today's age, maybe email, but don't forget those cell phones and those calling cards are 3 cents a minute. You can't miss. You got to work at your friendships, and it'll pay off for you. And finally, the K in red-tailed hawk is knowledge. Nothing better in life than knowledge. No matter what profession you go into, it will pay off for you. When people come to see me and they want a job, they better know what we're about, what we do. You better know something about the world. It's now time, but most of you, and most of you will not go on to grad school, will never have to worry about grades again. Of the 1,000 people we've hired at C-SPAN in the last 25 years, I've never, ever known what somebody's grades were. That's not a put down of those who have done extremely well. Maybe it's because I made those C's. But I've never asked anybody, and it's never mattered what their grade point average was before they got there. So keep the red-tailed hawk in mind. Don't forget the pioneers matters. But above all things, realize what Dan Ritchie and these folks up here and your parents have done for you. And the last thing I want to say to you, because this is something I've done for 40 years, your professors are sitting right down here. I don't want to hear you clap for them, because they do that all the time at graduations. What you want to do, and I do it all the time, and it's very important to them, is call them in 5 years and thank them. Write them a note and tell them what you're doing. Seek them out before you leave here and tell them how important they were to you. Because those who are teaching in the classroom and knocking themselves out for you are the most excited people in this room. And the least you can do for them is thank them and tell them what they have meant to you and what they have done for you. Love being associated with this place. Thank you for inviting me to do this. And now it's your turn to get your diplomas and get out of here. Thank you very much.
Formal commencement ceremonies are held at the close of the spring and summer quarters. Listed in the commencement program are the names of those students who have qualified for their degrees during the present academic year, along with mention of the honors they have received. Before we begin, I ask the audience to remain seated until all degrees have been awarded. In doing so, you will maintain the decorum of this ceremony and extend courtesy to the graduates, their families, and to their friends. Photography on the arena floor is limited to a professional photographer who will take pictures of each graduate. Graduates will receive proofs within 10 days. The ceremony is also being videotaped by a professional videographer. Orders for videos may be placed during the reception following today's ceremony. Now excuse me.
I now call on Provost Robert Coombe to present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees.
Will the Chancellor Ritchie, I have the privilege of presenting to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees. These candidates have met all requirements of their respective programs and are entitled to receive their diplomas at this time.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Denver, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the baccalaureate degree and admit you to all of the rights, powers, and privileges thereof. Congratulations.
Those graduates who have been awarded the baccalaureate degrees of their respective colleges and schools will now receive their diplomas. Graduates receiving the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Business Administration, and Bachelor of Professional Studies will enter the stage from your right and will be announced by Dr. Robert Sanford. Graduates, please proceed according to your marshal's directions. After you have received your diplomas, please return to your place and be seated. May I ask again that the audience remain seated. We also ask that you hold your applause until all students have received their diplomas so that the names of the students following your student's name can be heard by the audience. Thank you very much.
Students, please be seated. Jack Thomas Gervais, magna cum laude. Carrie Weider, magna cum laude. Bachelor of Arts, Jessica Anel Acosta. Michelle Lynn Arroyo. Emma Ann Axelson. Merrill Lauren Bacon. Nathan Robert Berry. Stephen Walter Bate. Todd Patton Blackham, magna cum laude. Carrie Ann Bloston, cum laude. Melissa Ann Bowling. Jessica Rose Bordeaux. Julia Rose Bordeaux. Lee Ann Key. Bourne. Aspen Livia Basu. Haley Jenna Baumister. Megan Lisbeth Bronner. Michelle Renee Brazelton. Charles Richardson Brinton. Amy Patricia Brown. Molly Blair Byram. Leslie Ann Capstick. April Ann Cardenas, cum laude. Morgan Mars Carey. Patrick Joseph Carey. Annette Compton Carlos, magna cum laude. Leah Ann Chavez. Sarah Renee Chozik. Heather Stephanie Chud. Aaron Chapman Clack. Greg A. Clarkson. Sarah Ann Clemens, cum laude. Robin Nelson Collins. Mark Patton Cooney. Elaine Michelle Colomi. Courtney Ann Cooper. Meredith Corinne Cox. Julie Elizabeth Kronholm. Kellen Aaron Crouch. Adi E. Curiel. Christopher James Corey, cum laude. James Victor Conyers. Amy Lane Davis. Maria Estrada Devani. Alexander B. Deans. Jessica Elaine Deal. Cynthia Renee Del Nostro. Jennifer Lynn Dempster. Paige Kathleen Dittmer. Jillian Renee Doss. Shannon Kathleen Doyle. Kevin P. Drost. Joshua Hunter Dunabeer. Catherine Harms Duffy. James Ian Christensen Eaton, summa cum laude. Melanie Beth Ebner. Matthew Edgar. Lee Wilkes Edgerton. David Eichenstein. Judy Estrada. Lori Michelle Evans. Joe Robert Farr. Paul Gregory Farning, magna cum laude. Janelle Joe Fisher. Paulina P. Fitcheff. Anne Irene Flossie. Nicola Felicia Forloblan. Ashley Marie Flynn. Andrea Nicole Fox. Hani Danielle Freeman, magna cum laude. Ryan Elizabeth Feely. Shannon Funk. Julie Elizabeth Fox. Robin Michelle Henderson. Sarah Lisa Colonimus. Ben Gardner. Anne Elizabeth Garson. Tiffany Ann George. Beth Ann Jerminski. Emily Rachel Gerston. Erin Rita Erozo Gibbs. Catherine Jean Gibson. Gabriela Teresa Giorno. Pamela Elaine Glasner. Summa cum laude. Aaron Christerfe Goodfarm. Jamie Michelle Gradishar. Jacqueline G. Granados. James Daniel Gray. Jana Elaine Grinstead. Harry Hammond Gunn. Thomas John Hegg. Julia Ann Hance. Laura Deborah Hanson. Aaron Hargroves. Heather Ann Harland. Clinton Howard Harris. Jeremy Brett Hahn. Amelia Rose Hedstrom. Anne Elizabeth Hellerstein, magna cum laude. Olivia Orlina Hernandez. Valentina Sanchez Herrera. Guadalupe Herrera Garcia. Jolene K. Hoffmeister. Mary Catherine Holtman. Catherine Mary Holtmeyer. Elizabeth Rose Hunt. Georgia Ann Hybels. Shelley Ann Irish. Ia Rachel Jacobson. Jennifer Noel Janes. Imelda Ruth Jones. F. William Jones. Heather Lynette Jones. Ona Jordan. Tanya Carnave. Michael Brian Kenley. Martha Maureen Kennedy. Afni Haralal Khatri. Justin Emerson Kidd, summa cum laude. Jessica Taylor King. Natalie Michelle Kitanovsky. Catherine M. Klein. Tricia Mikey Knowles. Sabina Koss. Brianna Kukis. Andrew Edward Keene. Kimball L. Kurtz. Karen Lee Lamb. Cara Michelle Lampe, summa cum laude. Jessica Marie Lass. Catherine Elizabeth Latta. Michael Paul Lavine. Genevieve Margaret Faye Lawrence. Mui Kim Lee. John T. Lee, cum laude. Mary Hing Lee. Amy Elizabeth Levesque. Samantha Lynn Liss. Andrew Butler Little. Paul L. Loftus. Ann Jeanette Elizabeth Lopez. Rebecca Jane Losh. Andrea Marie Love. Catherine Dyer Lloyd, cum laude. Brandon Lee Lundberg. Garima Louise Lundquist. Lisa Ann Machetto. Jamie Rose Martini. Juliet Elizabeth Mann. Alecha Healy Ann Marcheski. Christopher John Martin, summa cum laude. Amy Christina Martino. Anthony Joseph Massa. Douglas A. McCann. Fraser Lauren McCain. Sarah Marika Medwell. Kelly K. Merrill. Amy Elizabeth Merton. Michael Thornton Metzger. Brian James Metzler. Andrea Celeste Miller. Jackie Lane Miller. Lindsay Dale Miller. Stephanie Ann Miller. Andoanis Marie Moore. Derek Evan Moulton, magna cum laude. Suzanne Michelle Meggie. Stephen Paul Mullen. Jonathan Nagel. Jill Marie Nelson. Anne Kristen Noble. Jacqueline Norris Watts. Peter H. Norton. Ariana Lynn Nowakowski. Ayako Okada. Kylie M. Miller. Christina Rulli, summa cum laude. Chad A. Oreskovich. Jessica Erin Owens. Kendra May Paiboon. Kimberly Renee Para. Amy Michelle Passon. Thaxton Patterson II. Julia Nancy Perkins. Elizabeth Lucia Pike. Rebecca Jane Pittman. Holly Elizabeth Porter, cum laude. Emma Kaylin Prophet, cum laude. Tess Ann Buva. Craig Allen Bammel. Anne Helene Cagney. Jason Anderson. Amber Ann Chavez. Deanna Ilea Ducker. Erin Lee Ekblad. Jenny K. Firth. Alexander Edward Galbraith. Becky Jean Gherkin. Thomas Michael Geek, summa cum laude. Emil Harry Halez. Lauren Hansen. Katie Melissa Harrer. Matthew Townsend Hardwood. Sharice Hodkinson. Jason Allen Herchek, summa cum laude. Nicole Diane Jacobs, magna cum laude. Kevin Gregory Jenkerson. William Charles Kelly, magna cum laude. Zach Koski. William Thomas Costas. Zane Michael Lambert. David John Lavelle. Nicholas David Levine, cum laude. Laura Ann Lieberman. Margaret Ann Malone, magna cum laude. Christopher John Martin, summa cum laude. Robert Eric Martinez. Rachel Ann Martinkus, summa cum laude. Erica Lynn McCoy, summa cum laude. Lindsay Lane McCullough, magna cum laude. Molly Catherine Munch. Christina Isadora Moody. Matthew Now. Andrea Jeanette Knoll, magna cum laude. Hon Fee. Marla Jean Poklemba. Harry Stevens Porterfield. Angeline Sue Portencaso. Isaac M. Quintanar. Kyle James Schlachter, summa cum laude. Asif Shahaf. Samuel Michael Shirk. Kelly Ann Squires. Brooke Lindsay Swanson. Zachary Paul Taylor, magna cum laude. Amy Lynn Variot. Seth B. Voorhees. Chia Ling Hedin Wei. Gina Ray Young, summa cum laude. Okay. Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Erica L. Olive. Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, Salahatin Onan. Gregory Huffman Schoss. Samuel Champ Sutton. Catherine Lee Williams. Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Tomakin Tario Arishobao. Christopher Allen Baker. Erica Josephine Lowe. Colin Christopher O'Connor. Francisco Oyagüe. Bobby W. Truitt. Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Grant Richard Bevel, summa cum laude. Scott Leon Bevel, summa cum laude. Leslie Ray Warden. Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Matthew Adam Browowski. Stephen Michael Tadashi Bruce. Cedric James Clark. Nathan Edward Laramie. Yvonne Teresa Mize. Gregory Howard Meredith. Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Adnan Abdul Majid. Sarah Elizabeth Adams, magna cum laude. Shahir Ahmed. Mashal Hamad Al-Boyan. Yaqub Al-Hasawi. Bushnes Al-Nusif. Zain Al-Thawadi. Faisal Al-Sadun. Maria Eugenia Altamirano. Scott Robert Allister. Christine Michael Honest. Justin Richard Apt. Warren Jefferson Arnott III. Ashley Ann Atkinson, magna cum laude. Jake Bacher. Ryan D. Baker. Mar Ya Arjumand Barkatula. Kimberly Ann Berry. Robert Clark Converse. Alicia Carolyn Bauer. Stephen Patrick Bauer. Megan Cecile Beaver. Monica Elise Beelhartz. William A. Ford. Josephine Ann Benavides. Glenn Rudolph Berglund. Paul P. Berg. Katie Christine Bettridge. Nicholas Kimball Bizance. Erica Grace Braver. Catherine Lee Brosius. Brian Paul Bruchet. Christopher Benjamin Buhanda. Valerie Lynn Campbell. Edwin Sander Chapin. Nicholas R. Childs. Anna Marie Chin. Danielle Nicole Clemens. David Condit. Emily Ann Cooper. Brenda Jeanette Cortez. Christopher Stephen Cowan. Megan Kendra Jean Coyle. Lisa Lynn Bryman. Candace Lee Calkins. Jessica Christine Bright. Margot Linda Chan. Gareth Crooks Davis. Michael Weston Davis. Jeffrey Timothy Dingboom. Marshall J. Dodge. Omar Eldaway. Ahab Galal El Zorba. Jacob Henry Fell. Jeffrey Ernst Elsmeyer. Devin William Farrell. Catherine Christina Ferguson. Catherine Ann Ferguson. Justin M. Pfefferman. Stephen Craig Field. Molly Irene Fink. Michelle Nicole Fisher. Matthew Fisher. Kelly Patricia Fitzmaurice. Jason Howard Friedman. Ronald Lee Fracker Jr. Alan D. Fraze. Carly Anna Noble Fuller, summa cum laude. Nicholas Alexander Gambill. Victoria Garfias O'Brien. David Tyler Gionetta, magna cum laude. Anthony Joseph Geritano. Megan Jennifer Gilchrist. Glenn Rich Gordon. Greg Barber. Kevin Dole. Wade Dubowitz. Jason Christopher Graham. Justin John Hartman. Aaron Gray McKenzie. Matthew Landon Weber. Jalen Guy Hutton, summa cum laude. Frank Cameron Glinton. Heather Lynn Geteke. Heather Michelle Gomez. Renee Elizabeth Guerrero. Kathleen Wheeler Pettibone Graham. Jonathan David Green, magna cum laude. Callista M. Green. John Edward Griffith. Alfredo Raúl Guerra Rios. Fernando Javier Guerra Rios. Artem Vladimirovich Gulov. Matthew Ryan Harrell. Nicholas Allen Hartman. Joy Lynette Harrison. Enik Seiichi Hayase, cum laude. Sarah Ellen Hazard. Philip Jared Heath. Kelly Margaret Heffernan. Timothy Andrew Heeman. Laura Elizabeth Hiltz. Marin Radford Hoke. Stephanie Homsey. Chelsea Jean Hood. Christopher Nelson Ho. Pin Hoiprosit. Lindsay K. Hunninghake. Alfred A. Jackson. Kara Louise Jacobs. Constance Carolyn Janney Jansen. Catherine Johnson. Nicholas Xavier Johnson. Teresa Michelle Johnson. Laura Marie Jones, magna cum laude. Naomi Grace Jones. Tyler James Jordan, cum laude. Hakan Lee Johansson. Catherine Radley Kahn. Paul Bernard Kaiser. Anupreet Kaur. Andrew Hai-sung Kim. Suk Yoon Kim, cum laude. Yoskafte Kitazawa. Charles Tomlinson Klein IV, cum laude. Paul Bernard Nicely. Chad Christopher Kanoth. Yumi Nagahara Kraft. Kristen Davis Kreisel. Jonathan Andrew Larone. Kristen Marie Law. Douglas Allen Lawson. Linda Shore Lee. Michael Joseph Ledger. McAddery Lipscomb III. Tracy Dorothy Litt. Jeffrey Paul Llewellyn, magna cum laude. Whitney Ray Lochner. Aaron P. Keat. Mark Gregerson Briscoe. Ricky Noel Lee, magna cum laude. Michelle Marie Kasuga, cum laude. Dwayne Alvin Lero II. Cara Frances Luff. Elizabeth Ann Leon. Lindsay Jane McDonald, cum laude. Desiree Anna Mackenstadt. Nicole Lee Myers. William Spencer Martin. Rebecca S. Matisse. Nicole Christine Matson, magna cum laude. Stephanie Rachel May. Ryan Brett McAllister. Michael John McConaughey. Sarah Ann McInerney. Laura Louise Maher. Gregory Patrick Meehan, magna cum laude. Brandon Gerard Middleton Pratt. Daniel Brian McKenya. Lauren Kingston Miller. Gerald Michael Mitchell. Stephanie Michelle Montoya. Stacy Lee Moss. Rachel Brianna Neon. Alexander Viktorovich Nazarov. Connor Quinn Nelson. Holly Marie O'Hanlon. Carissa Emily O'Hare. Paige Mark O'Meara. Andrea Jennifer Oshman. Yoshitaka Otsu. Matthew S. Parkin. Hayes W. Parzibok. Brooke Pates. Christopher Robert Payne. Andrew Lane Patitris. Achilles Petrides. Michael John Patrusi II. Alyssa M. Condon. Dodd, magna cum laude. Lauren Patrice Gooden. Donnell Heberstreet Fries. Regina M. Kirk. Linda Roseanne Kostick. Misty Carolyn Latham. Tamara Lynn Mooney. Jennifer Lee Norris. Grace M. Sayre Fry, magna cum laude. Tracy L. Selvig. Shelley A. Sirkowski. Janet St. John, magna cum laude. Malathi Waran. Bachelor of Arts, Karen Bornstein, magna cum laude. Nancy Jane Brazelton, cum laude. Rachel D. Doherty. Glynis M. Hill. Karen Penelope Lawson. Melissa Lemke. Christy R. Lopez. Jody L. Lubeck. Penelope S. Mostin. Jacqueline E. Neal, magna cum laude. Sandra Olivia Nemi, cum laude. Nakia Poole. Rhonda Richmond. Carrie Ann Rose. Angela K. Thomas, magna cum laude. Margaret Ann Trainham. Brenda Lee Wolfensberger, magna cum laude.
The awarding of degrees is now complete. To all who have received diplomas here today, the university, its faculty, staff, and administration offers our sincerest congratulations. We are proud of you and wish you the best for the future. Again, let's join the university community in another round of applause for these fine graduates. Ms. Laura Snedgiski, Senior Class Representative, will present the gift from the Class of of 2003.
It has been my pleasure to work alongside Nick Marqueso and Will Ford on this year's senior class gift. It is my honor to present this gift on behalf of you, the class of 2003. Each member of the graduating class will have their name inscribed on a brick to be placed in front of the Mary Reed building. This will be a lasting memory of the contribution that our class has made to the university. Congratulations.
Chancellor Ritchie will now address the graduating class of 2003.
A few months ago, I was reading through a speech and came across a rather interesting piece by the provost of Purdue University, Sally Frost Mason. In it, she recalled Kent Keith's paradoxical commandments. Kent Keith was a 19-year-old student when he wrote it. Dr. Mason referred to it as the commandments of the 10 anyways. It goes, people are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you're successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest men and women with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People favor underdogs, but follow only top dogs. Fight for the underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you do help them. Help people anyway. Give the world the best you have, and you'll be kicked in the teeth or somewhere else. Give the world the best you have anyway. Do all of this in your lives, and you will fulfill our promise. Godspeed.
At the close of this commencement, the faculty and administration cordially invite graduates, their families, and friends to a reception that will be held on the lawn at the south entrance to the Ritchie Center. We look forward to visiting with you there. Graduates, once you have exited the arena and returned to the Hamilton Gymnasium, please exit by the west door and proceed to joining your family and friends at the reception. Now will the audience please rise and join Miss Amora Radcliffe of the Lamont School of Music in singing of the university's alma mater, The Crimson and the Gold. The lyrics may be found on page 3 in the commencement program. Following the alma mater, the platform party will immediately begin the recessional, during which we request that you remain seated.
With grateful hearts you.